Professionals believe nutrition plays a more important role in weight loss than does exercise. So in tonight's Parenting Project Healthy Mom segment, Kim Svem looks at some of the foods that should be in your home.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but when it comes to health, nutrition is the hardest part for me. It's so hard to change the way you eat. I don't know if it is for you, but it is for me. And part of that is not knowing what's really healthy. You may remember I had personal trainer Dustin Maher go through my fridge and my pantry, and he threw out a lot of the foods that I just didn't need to be eating. So this week, we headed off to Century Foods in Madison to find some of the stuff that should not only be in my house, but yours as well.
From a weight loss standpoint, vegetables are your friend.
For today's Nutrition 101, we're starting with veggies.
Eat them first before you get to your other carbs and other proteins and fats. That'll help you fill you up and give you a lot of nutrients.
Vegetables that are dark or bright in color, like these peppers, are your best bet because they're typically packed with more nutrients. If you're watching your waistline, things like corn, peas, and potatoes may not be the best choice because they're higher in carbohydrates. As for fruit,
if you're feeding your kids, don't be worried about what's one fruit that's better than the other. But for like moms and dads who are looking to lose weight, I recommend doing lower glycemic foods. Basically, that means that it doesn't going to affect your blood sugar levels as drastically. So we're in the apple section. Apples are great because they're pretty low glycemic.
Pears and different berries are also good options, but some fruits are better than others if you care about the calories.
Things like bananas are high sugar. Not to say you can't have them, but eating those are like grapes in high quantities is a lot of extra calories.
From produce, we turn to meat, which is an important source of protein.
So meat section, there's tons of different choices and options. One thing you want to look for is low fat.
Yes, you can have your occasional steak, but just pay attention to what you choose.
You want to look for cuts that have as little white marble fat as possible. So the deeper the red and the more red you have, the lower the fat.
You can also find good lean hamburger. Just read the labels.
Okay. 95% lean, 5% fat. That's pretty good.
Dustin says if you can find it, meat from animals that have been grass-fed is always best.
But chicken is one of the best proteins for you because it's lean and it's got very low calories, just pure protein.
And don't forget about fish. It can be a great source of omega-3 fatty acids. But he says look for fish that's wild rather than farm-raised. As for dairy, skim milk is always a good bet, as is cottage cheese and yogurt. But be careful about your yogurt choice.
And as you can see, there's tons of choices, and a lot of them are fruit flavored. Unfortunately, that's going to add a lot of extra sugar, and it's usually high fructose corn syrup on top of it to make it worse. But I just wanted to give you a comparison between these two. It's an all natural, so it's better than some of the high fructose corn syrup ones you'll see. But in this one, per serving is 200 calories. Now we've got the plain version. This is 110 calories. There's 33 grams of sugar, only 11 grams of sugar in this. So you're saving about 15, 20 grams of sugar.
If you don't like plain yogurt, you can always sweeten it up with fresh or frozen fruit. Next, we're off to the bread aisle.
Breads is a really tricky thing because a lot of them will sound healthy, but they really aren't for you.
This is where Dustin says, again, it's key to read the labels.
So turn it around. The rule of thumb is less ingredients, the better.
Okay.
Now take a look at all those ingredients. And the first ingredient is the most important thing to look at. It's enriched wheat flour, which is white. It's just white flour that they add a few nutrients in, vitamins, synthetic ones. Instead, you look at this as whole wheat flour. So it's 100% whole wheat.
Right.
They got a little extra sugar here, but it's just regular sugar. This is going to have high fructose corn syrup. That's another thing you want to try to find is the high fructose corn syrup, trying to avoid that. And you'll be amazed at how much high fructose corn syrup there is in many bread.
Drinks are another area you need to watch out for sugar. Whether regular or diet, Dustin says if you're trying to watch your weight, it's best to avoid soda. He actually likes the regular soda better than diet because it's full of fake sugars.
Fake sugars have been shown to increase your appetite, your sweet tooth. You're certainly going to always crave sweets. And people who have higher levels of fake sugars in their diet are more overweight.
Fats and oils are another thing Dustin wants to touch on. He says for cooking, olive oil, regular butter, and coconut oil are your best options. He points out that coconut oil may scare people because of its saturated fats, but it does have its benefits.
There's actually some fats that are saturated that are good for you. And this is a medium chain fatty acid, which means that it's going to get utilized as energy in the body very quickly.
It may seem like eating healthy takes a lot of time and energy, but knowing what to eat is half the battle. And, of course, there are some foods that I just didn't have time to touch on, like what to eat if you really need a snack. So I put a lot of extra information on our website and also on my blog. I do want to point out a couple of things. When you go to the grocery store, shop the perimeter. That's where all the fruits and the veggies and the meats and the dairy products are. You know, the middle of the store usually has a lot of the processed, salty, sweet foods.
So
and
hang
also,
out on the edges, all right.
Yeah, hang out on the edges. And also, good rule of thumb, never go to the store hungry. We've heard that a million times, but so true.
Yeah. Okay, Kim, good start here.